Dragon Ball is insane. Now, to be clear, I love it. But the year is now 2025, and I am still someone who hasn't seen Dragon Ball. Not the OG, not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Super, not Dragon Ball, you name it. I don't know, was XYZ. Now, to be fair, a couple years back, I watched the very first episode of the OG Dragon Ball. And I remember it being kind of insane. So recently I watched the first few episodes and I can honestly say it is way crazier than I remember. Like, what the flip was I thinking? I thought it was mildly insane. In fact, it is completely insane. You see main characters trying to kill each other multiple times. You see animal abuse. You see girls flashing old men. You see a bunch of wild stuff. Like, what the flip is going on? Like, it's the kind of thing that you're watching and you're looking around like nobody's gonna walk in. Like, I swear, this is just Dragon Ball. It's nothing weird, okay? Maybe I've just had too many bad experiences watching something in public. Like, one time I was on a plane, I was watching a movie and then a wild scene came up and I looked around and sure enough, there was a woman judging me and she continued to judge me for the rest of the flight. I'm like, lady, I couldn't have known it was coming up. I haven't seen this. Yeah, so I might have gotten off topic, but back to Dragon Ball. Totally insane, but to be clear, I had a lot of fun watching these first few episodes and it felt like each episode got crazier. Like, okay, that was wild, but the next one won't be as bad and then it's worse. Like, how? What, like, how? Not to mention the characters range from somewhat crazy to completely insane. But let's even start with a character like Goku, who personally I find endearing. Maybe I just have something for characters based on or loosely inspired by Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. I don't know, something about those strong characters who are also troublemakers just appeal to me. But yeah, quickly you get this idea. Goku's really strong. He does some martial arts. Bit of a troublemaker, like he does throw an apple at a saber tooth. Now, in his defense, it was probably an accident. But then he runs it off a cliff.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Also, I couldn't help but notice, and it's something I've also noticed with Luffy in One Piece, this guy beats up a lot of animals. I'm not making any sort of allegations. I'm just saying, like, a lot of animals.
Stop it. Get some help.
But anyway, here's where things get completely insane, because after drop kicking a fish, he's carrying it back. This is when he's about to meet Bulma. But I was like, okay, how are you going to introduce Bulma? Because, like, surely it's going to be a very normal meeting, right? She hits him with her car. But anyway, Goku gets a bit of road rage. We've all been there. Someone hits you with their car. And so you think to yourself for a second or two, like, do I get up and murder this person? Which is exactly what Goku does, because he's like, okay, let me just pick up this car and launch it. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, like, accidents happen. Okay, but to be fair, he does then walk over and threaten her life. Now, what Bulma does next is completely insane. And this is when I started to be like, okay, I think I might like this show.
What do you mean by that?
Because she pulls out a gun and shoots him not once, not twice, not even that twice would have been okay. She unloads the entire magazine on this kid. And he's mildly annoyed and she's freaked out once again, like, how is he alive? Now sure, maybe I could write off hitting him with your car as an accident. Shooting him multiple times, definitely not an accident. But anyway, Goku shakes it off and you're like, okay, so he's even bulletproof for the most part? Like, he is insanely strong. Anyway, so Goku gets up and he's like, you're dead. Bulma quickly surrenders. This is when you learn Goku knows basically nothing about anything, no common sense. He's lived on his own pretty much most of his life. But on another level, it just creates for all these wacky scenarios. Some of them just go completely insane, and I'll get into a few of them because it's like, I don't even know, like, is this supposed to be a kid's show with some of the stuff that they show? Anyway, I'll get into some of that because Goku's like, oh, it's a girl, and within moments of actually learning about a girl for the first time, he takes a peek up her skirt. Now she gets rightfully upset, but this is when Goku is like, oh, I was just looking for your tail. Sure you were, Goku. Sure you were. I'm onto this kid, especially because this isn't the only incident where he does something very questionable, and this one is actually tame compared to what is about to happen. But anyway, Goku invites her back to his place. She's looking for a Dragon Ball in the area. She thinks maybe he has it. She has 2 Dragon Balls. Now she does say, like, I hope you're not going to do anything improper, which I'll be honest is the right thing to say in a situation like this because, you know, he is a little child. It's just kind of hypocritical considering what's about to happen because they go back to his place. Bulma sees his Dragon Ball, and so she's like, I'll give you a peek up my skirt for the Dragon Ball.
What? What the fuck?
Do I need to call the authorities? Like, seriously, Bulma, that is wild. But one of the things I will say is I like how fast everything was progressing, because Bulma quickly explains the lore of the Dragon Balls. You get 07, a dragon appears, you make a wish. Pretty easy. Now, Bulma wants to wish for a boyfriend, which is kind of stupid. I'm not saying wanting a boyfriend is bad, but that feels like the kind of thing you can get on your own. And if you can't, that sounds like a personal problem. Now, Goku only wants to go on an adventure. Bulma needs his Dragon Ball. I did wonder for a second, like, she's not going to try and steal his Dragon Ball. Now, maybe she would have, but then she probably was also like, yeah, this kid might murder me if I try. So instead, she convinces Goku to go along with her, and personally, I like the dynamic. She's the brains behind the operation because Goku knows basically nothing, and Goku's the muscle who will protect her. In fact, we see immediately how valuable Goku is because within a couple of minutes of heading out, Bulma gets kidnapped by a talking pterodactyl.
What?
I'm still not entirely sure I fully understand everything that's going on here. But yeah, how does Goku respond to Bulma getting kidnapped? Well, he absolutely destroys this pterodactyl. Like, I know he was rescuing his friend, but the number of animals this guy beats up is definitely going to start racking up, and I'm only like a few episodes into the series. And the very last major thing of note that happens in the very first episode is we're introduced to this Emperor Pilaf. He has a Dragon Ball. He wants to wish for world domination. All of it pretty self-explanatory. But anyway, as insane as the first episode was, somehow it gets significantly crazier to the point where I'm like, I think I'm actually really enjoying this show. But Goku and Bulma have to camp for the night. But again, even a few episodes into the series, I love the banter between Bulma and Goku because neither one really understands the other. Like, Goku's like, why are you taking so long to get ready? And Bulma will be like, why are you insane? What are you? But you learn stuff like Goku's never had a bath and he stinks. And so Bulma has to give him a bath. And the craziest part about this scene is Bulma only then realizes his tail is an actual tail and he might not be human. Like, really, all the other crazy stuff the guy has done hasn't indicated that maybe he's not normal? This dude literally picked up your car, launched it, not to mention survived being shot multiple times. But the real wild thing about Goku is what happens next, because then it's Bulma's turn for a bath. And I'm not really going to talk much about this scene, but then Goku just shows up in her bathroom, which freaks her out, justifiably so. And he's like, I'm going to help you wash your back.
I don't like where this is going.
I'm on to you, kid, okay? I know what you're up to. He plays innocent. Okay. To be fair, he just doesn't know better. But none of this really qualifies as the insane parts, because then Goku's like, I don't like your food, Bulma.
It's fucking wrong!
Little insulting, by the way, but he's like, I'm gonna go out hunting. I don't like the sound of that. If there was any doubt that this kid wasn't a danger to other people out there, this next part removes all of that. Now, it was fun to watch, but anyway, he goes out hunting, and Emperor Pilaf sends out a couple of his servants to look for a Dragon Ball. So they're flying in a plane, and Goku here sees their plane. He gets excited because he thinks it's a bird, which immediately I was like, okay, yeah, those people are definitely screwed. But they land in this dangerous valley filled with wolves, and the real threat shows up because Goku comes out of somewhere, I don't know, like he came from the skies, and immediately he starts threatening them to stay away from his bird. And they're like, kid, who the flip are you? Where did you even come from? But anyway, they get interrupted because then the wolves show up. But this guy Goku, he smiles. He gets even more excited. I'm starting to wonder about this kid, but he's also kind of funny, especially when he just starts absolutely beating down on a bunch of these wolves. It is actually impressive to watch, a little concerning. Like, he is enjoying beating up these wolves probably too much. But anyway, the couple of servants get away in the plane, or so they think, because then this guy Goku absolutely smokes this plane out of the sky. I'm sure they'll be fine. Maybe they're not fine, but no, they jumped out at the last second. Goku didn't know that though, so he nearly killed these people. Not to mention all the wolves, and he eats one of the wolves, so okay, yeah, he's a threat. Okay, so Goku goes to sleep, and after he wakes up in the morning, this is the part which is insane, but the crazier part is a later moment it sets up because of what happens here. So what the flip happens? Well, Goku wakes up, he looks over to the bed, and he sees Bulma sleeping, so he's just like, seems like there's plenty of room for both of us. You're not gonna do anything weird, are you, Goku? So he decides to rest his head on her crotch.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
But it gets worse, because then he notices something's a little off, so he pats it, and he's like, oh no, something is definitely wrong. And so he decides, out of the blue, I'm gonna pull off her underwear, and he's looking for her balls. He freaks out, she wakes up, and she's like, what's wrong? He's like, your balls are gone. What the flip is this show? Like, what the flip is going on? Bulma thinks he's talking about the Dragon Balls, which again is gonna set up something. She sees like, okay, the Dragon Balls are fine. Doesn't even think twice about what the kid said. Like, what was the kid doing? You just know it's setting up something. I just didn't expect it to set up quite what it did. But anyway, Goku goes outside to train. He comes across a turtle, and he agrees he's going to help this turtle. He's going to carry it back to the sea. So anyway, Goku leaves to go and carry this turtle back to the sea. Bulma's like, if I stay here, I'm dead. So she goes with him reluctantly, but also keep in mind, she didn't change or anything like that, so you know it's setting up something. But before they even arrive at the sea, there's a brief moment where this bear comes out and he's like, I want to eat that turtle. And so Bulma's like, okay, Goku, give him the turtle. And Goku looks at this bear and he's like,
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
and so Goku decides he's going to start toying around with this bear. He could have easily handled it, but he wanted to embarrass it first. Then he smokes the bear.
Whaley has landed several of those inside low kicks.
Again, a lot of animals, Goku. Beating up a lot of animals, aren't we? Anyway, so after arriving at the sea, the turtle's like, I'm gonna go and get you guys a gift. Stay right here. And the turtle comes back with this old guy, Master Roshi. And I don't know what I was expecting out of this old guy. It was not this. Because he wants to thank Goku for helping out one of the turtles. So he offers him his flying Nimbus, which is this floating cloud, which honestly seems like a lot of fun. Now, apparently only the pure of heart are able to ride it. Goku is able to ride it. I'm a little surprised he's considered pure of heart. I mean, like, I get it, but like, he's done a lot of wild things. But this is when Bulma wants a gift, and this is when this interaction goes from normal-ish to completely insane. Because Master Roshi here is like, I might have something. How about you give me a peek at your underwear? What the flip? Is there like one sane person in this world? Like, give me one. So again, Bulma doesn't know Goku took off her underwear or anything like that, and immediately you know, like, okay, this is what they set up, like this. And I'm like, okay, though, Bulma doesn't want a gift that much. No, actually, she almost immediately flashes this guy. Now, she doesn't know how much she's showing him. And in fact, it even gets worse. But the craziest thing is he said he might have a gift. You don't know if it's good or bad. Now, all things considered, it does work out for the most part because she sees he has a Dragon Ball around his neck and she's like, how about that? He doesn't know the value of it, so he's like, okay, fine. But then he sees how excited Goku and Bulma get about it and he's like, no, I didn't say you could have it. Like, guy, you got more than you bargained for. You wanted a peek at the underwear. I mean, to be fair, he could argue, you didn't even show me your underwear. But that would be a stupid argument. And so unprompted, Bulma starts flashing this guy repeatedly, multiple times, and he's like, okay, fine, yeah, no, you get it. I was just wondering this entire time, like, I get it's for the moment. Can you really not tell you're not wearing any underwear? Like, what the flip is going on in this show? I was just happy there was no one around while watching it because they'd be like, the flip? But the insanity isn't even over because then Goku and Bulma go back to where they were staying. And only then, after walking in, does Bulma realize, those are my underwear. They're supposed to be on. What the flip is going on? And then it clicks like, okay, so I was just showing that old guy way too much, way too many times. You nearly killed Master Roshi. But I'm like, but okay, Goku's not gonna tell her it was him. He tells her it was him. Like, he volunteers this information extremely easily and fast. He's almost proud. Like, yeah, I took off your underwear. What? He's like, yeah, I took off your underwear this morning. Now, I don't entirely justify what Bulma does next, but I also kind of understand it. The only reason I don't entirely justify it is because if you don't know that you're not wearing underwear, that's partly on you. But I was like, okay, she's probably gonna yell at him a bit. No, she shoots him multiple times again. This time even worse than the last time, which again, like anytime shooting him is bad enough. It may not kill him, but it's still insane. So as insane as those first 3 episodes were, this next one genuinely made me question my sanity. Like, I know I'm already unwell, but this was next level. Like, I swear I'm not even exaggerating it. The first 3 were kind of crazy. This next one is just leagues above that. So anyway, Goku and Bulma arrive at a village where they believe the next Dragon Ball is. The thing is, everyone in the village is hiding, so Goku immediately breaks into someone's house. Like, that's not insane. But the insanity increases because the homeowner immediately hits Goku in the head with an axe. Now, to be fair, I don't blame him for that because the kid just broke into your house and I've seen the stuff he's done. But Goku gets a little bit hurt and then he does what Goku normally does in a situation like this. He immediately threatens to murder the homeowner, and so the homeowner's like, sorry, I mistook you for someone else. Like, buddy, I don't even blame you because this kid broke into your house, and to be fair, Goku probably deserved to be hit, considering what he does next. Because when the homeowner's daughter comes out, Goku immediately pats her crotch, like, what the flip, what are we doing here? Now he says like, oh, I wanted to confirm she was a girl. Like, sure, Goku, sure. Call the authorities, take this man away immediately. But anyway, the people of the village come out, they tell them about this monster called Oolong, who's been terrorizing them. He can transform. And I'm like, okay, how bad is it? Like, what is he doing? Certainly it can't be that bad. No, it's actually really bad because he's stealing these little girls so he can marry them.
This is the worst.
What the flip is going on in this world? Like, the real world might be insane, but everything I've seen in the Dragon Ball world is utterly insane. Like, there's no normality. So anyway, Goku's like, I'll fight this guy. Now Bulma is like, hey, do you guys have a Dragon Ball? This is when an old lady comes out and she's like, yeah, I've got one. And again, this kid Goku cannot help himself. He immediately pats her crotch and is just like, yeah, you are a woman. And the worst part about this, the most insane part about this, is the old lady likes it. Okay, so when the authorities arrive, They could take Goku away, they could take Oolong away, they can take this old woman. You could even throw Bulma in there. Anyway, so Bulma and Goku agree they'll handle this problem, and they'll get the Dragon Ball as a reward. Now, certainly they're gonna have a normal plan, right? Nope, not at all. Bulma dresses Goku up as a little girl.
I don't like where this is going.
Sends him out there and it's just like, hey, pretend to be this little girl. But anyway, Oolong shows up and he starts talking to Goku, who he believes to be this little girl, and I swear, everything this man says creeps me out. Like, this is the kind of guy that belongs at the Diddy parties. Because he's hitting on what he believes to be a little girl, and he's like, ooh, I like them feisty. You know what I like? I like people like you in prison. But the moment only continues to get crazier and crazier, because then Oolong transforms into a gentleman, and Bulma can't help herself. She immediately comes out and starts flirting with the guy. What are we doing here, Bulma? What are we doing? Like, Bulma starts showing off her chest and it's just like, I'm all woman.
It's time to stop!
And Oolong is just feet away from her, even using his hands to visualize touching Bulma.
This needs to stop now!
But arguably, the worst part is, Oolong is actually having a serious debate if he wants this little girl that Goku is pretending to be, or Bulma.
I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
Now, Goku makes the decision a lot easier when Oolong turns around and he sees this little girl taking a leak, like boys do, and he's like,
What is that? What the f is that?
and he realizes Goku is indeed a boy. But the dumbest part about this is how upset he gets, because he's like, oh no, how dare you deceive me? One thing I cannot tolerate is deception, which I get it, it's supposed to be hypocritical, but even if it's supposed to be hypocritical, it's still too hypocritical for me. So Oolong transforms into a giant bull because he wants to scare away Goku. Big mistake, I've highlighted Goku's issues with animals, you've only made him want to fight you even more. And Oolong quickly realizes like, oh no, this guy is actually kind of scary. He runs away. Now he reveals he can only transform for 5 minutes. And we see what his actual form is. It's a pig. Why am I not surprised? But instead of realizing like, okay, yeah, Goku is bad news, he will definitely murder me, he's like, but I still want to get a little girl, like you have a problem. So he transforms again, goes back, tries to scare Goku. Now Goku might be an idiot, but he's not that stupid. He's like, I don't think you're that strong, which he's right. But then Oolong here challenges Goku. He's like, but are you strong? Like, here, can you break these 3 bricks? And Goku laughs at this guy. He's like, yeah, I could do it with 1 finger, which he does. And in that moment, Oolong's life flashes before his eyes. He's like, oh no, this guy will murder me. So he transforms, flies away. Small problem, Goku's like, you're not gonna escape that easy. He uses his flying Nimbus, catches him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So Oolong is like, fine, I'll bring you back to the little girls. Anyway, so they arrive back at Oolong's place, but this part still kind of irritates me. I don't know, maybe I'm making too much of this, because they arrive and they see all the girls that Oolong kidnapped, but it's revealed he treated them well. As far as I know, he didn't do anything weird to them. They're having a good time, they like being there. But I'm like, I still don't care. You stole these girls. Like, sure, it's good that after you stole them, you didn't mistreat them, but you still stole them. And everyone brushes it under the rug like no big deal. And it's like, maybe I'm the crazy one making too much of this, but personally, I don't like people stealing little girls. But anyway, I want to be clear. I enjoy the show so far. If you want to see more of these videos, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.